Howdy people of YouTube. Wanted to get another video posted today in our new luxurious setup here on the couch. And kind of wanted to bounce back from some of the negativity and everything. You know, sometimes you gotta let it soak for a little bit, but you gotta bounce back, recover, and throw on the positive mindset hat and move on. And that's kind of where I'm at and moving forward. What I wanted to actually talk about today is going to be a new portion of the My Changes Here channel, and that's going to be kind of a debate, creative thinking portion of the channel. And it's gonna. My hope is it's gonna spark some conversation and get some people involved. Some of the stuff we're gonna talk about is controversial and might rub people some of the wrong ways. But I just want to start out by saying, these are my opinions. This is what I think. This is me just projecting what I believe. If you don't believe what I believe, doesn't mean you're wrong. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. Doesn't mean you're right. We're all humans. We all have different beliefs, have different backgrounds. Everybody's entitled to that, and I'm not taking that away from anybody. But I want to hopefully spark some conversation, because I think that's important. Along with some of the things I've talked about in the previous videos, I think getting some conversation going, getting people thinking about your environment, your universe, everything. I think that's pretty important. One thing I wanted to address first and foremost, I'm going to address two things, and they're so far apart that it's insane. But we'll start out with the first one, and then as we get into the video, you'll see how crazy it gets. But been reading all day on social network and hearing it on the news and everything, talking about this Bruce Jenner dilemma that everybody's running into for some reason. It's an issue for some people. Bruce Jenner, if you guys aren't aware of what's going on, he came out and said that he's starting his transition into a woman. This has been something that you could see slowly happening over the past little while, but he had never really come out and publicly said anything about it. And the reason why I am saying he, even though he is making the transition into being a female, he specifically, while doing an interview with the New York Times, said that he does prefer the pronoun of he. So that is how I'm going to address it. But what I want to talk about is, why is it that everybody thinks that they are entitled to have an opinion on this? For me, I guess what this is an opinion, I suppose, but really it's none of our business. It's no one person's right to tell somebody what they can and can't do with their body. Bruce Jenner, honestly, reading through some of the stuff he's been saying recently, he said he was born this way. Genetically, he might not have been born a woman, but he's always felt a strong connection with his feminine side, and he truly believes that this is what he is. And if that's the case, more power to him. That's none of our fucking business. He can do what he pleases, and I think that's a big thing that a lot of people need to get over. And I think it can stem farther than transgender, cross-dressing, gay, straight. I think it can stem way farther than that. People are entitled, they have the right as a human to do virtually whatever they want. You could, in all reality, you could be a sociopath. That could be what you do. You have that right to choose it. Granted, there is actions and there is consequences to some of these things, but when it comes to something of being gay or being, transgender or something like that, if that's how you're born and that's what you feel, more power to you, man. that's something that, as a straight male, I can't understand. Um, I can't sympathize with you, but I can show empathy in the aspect that, um, in anything that I've ever done, I've always wanted the people around me to be accepting of it, and at the same time understand that realistically it's none of their business what I do. So that's something that I think that we all need to kind of, that's a trait I think we could all benefit from, is, stop seeing people through gay, straight, lesbian, all this. Stop seeing through those eyes. We're all just humans. Who you decide you're going to cuddle up next to at night, that's nobody's business. And if it's something you want to project, like Bruce Jenner did, coming out and talking about it, that's awesome, dude. More power to you. That took a lot of courage, and I mean, that's the fact that he was willing to share that with us. That's awesome, and I think he should be getting nothing but support. The people out there that are bad-mouthing and hating and saying all these terrible things, what? Who made you God? Who made you holier than thou? Just because what you're straight and your perception of normal, and he isn't your perception of normal. What is this normal, first of all, and second of all, who gave you the right to establish that bar? It's all human choice and what people truly feel, and people that are born knowing that this is what they were supposed to be. I mean, the guy has lived his whole life not necessarily in denial, but not exposing this aspect of his life, and now he finally has the opportunity to do that. That is beautiful. Good for him. That should be something we're celebrating. Look at this guy's strength to do this, and I think it should be celebrated more for people when they have the courage to come forth and do these things, because really, I mean, it's hard. I would not ever in a million years want me, my friends, my family, anybody to feel like they had to hide a portion of themselves so society or the people around them would accept them. I accept people into my circle, and I let people in close to me based on the kind of person they are, their character, their mind, all of that. I think it has nothing at all to do with sexual orientation or what your gender role, any of that. Come on, I mean, it is 2015. Let's grow here a little bit. We've spent so many years dealing with things like segregation and discrimination and all of that, and we're able to slowly, you see it, in the universe and in this world we're growing up in. It's awesome because we're seeing those layers be peeled back slowly, and people being able to come out and say who they are instead of living an entire lifetime in complete secrecy. That's terrible. I would, like I said, I'd never wish that on anybody. That's sick and twisted to think that any of us have the right to make somebody feel so uncomfortable about themselves that they feel the need to hide. And I honestly, it kind of disgusts me, just being in the generation I am. It disgusts me to think that there is generations before us that are still stuck on these ideas and on these beliefs. It's like, dude, come on, you gotta expand your thinking a little bit here. Move on. I mean, what makes you any different than Bruce Jenner? Realistically, look at it anatomically. Look at your makeup. I mean, you have skin, you got a mind, you have a conscience, you have thoughts. You have the same struggles. All of these things. We're all human. We are all human, and nobody should ever be distinguished as something different. Next thing I want to talk about, when I referenced that this was going to go 360 and all over the place, I'm serious. It's about to get weird. I want to talk about, actually, this is something that I've had so many late nights sitting up with buddies. This is a less serious topic for some. that were staying up, debating this and talking about it. And I think the biggest reason that it's debated is because there's no definite answer. And that's just the Earth's role in the universe. What are we all doing here? And there's so much that's just unanswered, that's just left to the human mind to kind of create its own. And I've heard so many theories and so many ideas, with like the Big Bang and that the creation of Earth, and then so many religious beliefs that there was a higher power that created us and put us here, and all of this. But one thing I really think that we all need to understand is that you might feel like you're insignificant or your role isn't important, and there is some reasoning, there is some logic and some reasoning to that. In 500 years, we can't guarantee that anybody will remember our name. We can't guarantee that anybody will even remember that the human race existed at 500 years, But in your small little circle of people that you interact with, your little universe, if you break it down from, instead of being the solar system where we're just so small and insignificant in this world of, I think it's like 7 billion people or something like that, and how insignificant you are, stop thinking that way and turn your little society, your little interactions with people into a universe, the people that you go to work with, you go to school with, you walk by on the street, you get groceries from at the store, you see at the restaurants, the guys that pump your gas, any of those, that's your small little universe, that's your little solar system, and you impact those people around you. And I think that if you feel that your role is insignificant and that you could just fall off the face of the earth and it wouldn't mean anything, you're wrong. The people around you, even people that don't know you, random strangers, depend on you. There might be that guy walking down the street who's lost everything, has given up on everything. And I know an example like this is, everybody's heard it, but you walk by and you just give them a, hey man, how's it going? That simple exchange, that could change somebody's life. That could literally turn somebody's life around completely. Just a moment. I mean, you pause on that guy just for that second to have him go, maybe he doesn't step out on a crosswalk to get hit by a bus. Maybe he goes home, goes back to his wife or whatever, and he apologizes because he realizes that there's still good people in the world. And technology it's given us the ability to do this, where I can project to so many people at once. It's also dumbed us down a little bit, because walking by that guy on the street and going, hey man, what's up? Most people are like, whoa, what the fuck? What do you want, man? Leave me alone. And I think that itself, that's kind of a scary thing, that so many people are so stuck in their cell phones and their computers and everything, that the human interaction is slowly fading, and just being a social person and interacting with people is fading, and it's getting scary for people. That's a fear of mine. I don't want to see the universe go to a point where the only time you can actually communicate with somebody is through instant message, because everybody is so afraid to talk to people that it's ruined. And another aspect of that is the information we are fed through the internet and through the news. There's a fear aspect to it, and that makes people fear each other, because there's all these stories of these bad people in the world, and everybody's like, well, fuck, maybe that guy's him, and that you gotta drop your guard. I'm not saying go out there and hop into a car with the first guy you meet and go to his house. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't be afraid that, when you walk into the store, sit there and have a conversation with the guy bagging your groceries for a second. Give that extra little effort to interact with people. It's important. And I'm not saying just your friends, because the people that are close to you, you're going to interact with, but those people that are a little farther stretched, those people, those are the ones you need to reach out to. Your people around you, they already sense your energy. They already understand who you are and feel your mind and everything. But if you can reach out and touch somebody and still your little bit of light in them, that could be a real positive for some people. um, coming back to the universe thing a little bit, it's a crazy idea, this Earth, and there's a reason why there's so many different ideas about where we all came from and what's going on here. I've heard all sorts of stories that we're put on the Earth just to be like bacteria and eat the Earth away and kill it, just like everything else. We could be the smallest little molecule on such a bigger perspective. We could literally the E. coli that's on your skin, and the E. coli that'll eat your body and all of that, and eventually, like when you die, that'll eat your body and decompose you, or like when you leave a sandwich on the counter for too long and it molds and dies and breaks down. That could be our role. We could essentially be that, just on a larger scale with more intelligence. We don't know. No one knows. That's one of the biggest keys here. We have no idea. If you have a belief that this is the origin of where we came from, that's awesome. But you also cannot become completely closed-minded. I love, more than anything, listening and hearing people's stories and their belief on where our point of origin is, where all of us come from, and how all of this is formed. The more I can hear, the better. It's helping me to kind of create my opinion on where I come from. I'm pulling from all of these, and I eventually will have an opinion, and right now I'm still in that building phase, but realistically, the best opinion I think I can have is I don't know, just like you don't, and everybody else does. Some of us are pretty dead set that our beliefs are right 100%, and that there's no way anybody else's ideas are correct. That's a terrible mindset. I'm sorry. I think that it's good to be passionate about things, but if you're so passionate that you're closed-minded, that's terrible. Make sure you're open and ready to listen and prepared to hear people out. And I referenced him in 2 videos ago. Joe Rogan does this so well. He brings people on his podcast, and I'm pretty sure, I don't remember where I heard it. It might have actually been his podcast, but they were talking about taking a moment to stop adding to the conversation, to stop trying to one-up the conversation and keep the flow going, and just stopping it and listening, retaining. Instead of, when somebody's talking about their beliefs, instead of chiming in and being like, no, this is what I think, shut the fuck up, sit there and absorb, listen, retain, pull some information out of it. And if you can sit there and make a conscious effort to learn and absorb the way that Joe Rogan, I swear to God, if you haven't seen his YouTube channel or his podcast, listen to it, because that's what he does. He gets people in there, he gets them talking, and he sits there and he just retains the information. And he has this ability to keep the conversation rolling, because he's retained so much information from so many people. He has so many things to talk about that he can bring something up, let somebody go, just let them speak, let them project what their ideas are. And once those are out, he's retaining that information, and he turns around 3 weeks later and hits somebody else with the knowledge he learned 3 weeks ago, and then they reiterate the same shit, some new stuff, and he's just learning and absorbing. And that's a crazy thought that he has, because of his his channel, and because he's able to get so many people in there. He has the ability to retain information that way. You can do the same thing in your everyday life. Whenever you interact or talk to people or anything like that, like, absorb, learn, all of that. I was talking to a girl that I work with, and she was asking me about, where's my religious beliefs? Where do I believe our point of origin is? And I pretty much summarized it up real quick, and I was like, I believe that everybody has a higher power that they answer to. Some people have created a God that they answer to. For some people, like myself, it's more of just a subconscious that guides me. I think that there is God within everybody. Might not be a religious God, but there is something inside of all of us that keep us moving forward. If you break down the brain is literally designed, the way you function is when you're going throughout the day, the brain sends you signals constantly telling you, no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. It's not telling you, yes, do that. There's so many more thoughts that your brain has to process where it has to tell you no. That alone is showing that everybody has that higher power to answer to. For some people it's a God, and for some people, you know, it's just inside of your head. But that higher power, it originates from in here, with your brain telling you no. That girl walks by you in the mall and you're like, ooh, nice butt, I'm gonna touch that. No, brain, no, no, no. I'm gonna eat that. No, no, don't do that. Your brain is constantly reasoning with you and trying to tell you, you know, don't do this, this is good, this is bad. That is inside of all of us. For some, like I've said, probably 6 fucking times now. For some people, it's an origin of religious beliefs. For others, it's just something that we carry with us. But all of us have it. All of us have that same process inside of us. I think more or less it's just point of origin as to where that came from. That's where the belief system kind of falls into places. You know, some people think it's instilled. Some people think you're born with it. Whatever it is, just understand. We all have, there is something that's all driving us, and it's all the same, but all of our consciousness is different, which is the mind-blowing part, because we're all going through the same process, and we all are having these same internal thoughts, but at the same time, they're all completely different. It's so, your mind and the universe and everything is so complex that there's no way I can even keep this into a YouTube video, because I could sit here and talk for hours on this, because it at the end of the day it all leads to the same thing. We don't know. We don't. You really don't. All we know is what we can internalize and what we can understand about ourselves, which is, you know, what's going on inside your head. I think that's really big. I've talked about that before. I think it's really big to know yourself, know what's going on inside your mind. That really will help you to understand a lot of the decisions you make, a lot of the choices you make. You'll learn why you do that. A lot of the decisions you make in a second, that you just go boom, thought. This is how I'm reacting. This is how I'm reacting. Those split-second decisions, you'll realize. After you've looked inside of yourself, you'll start to understand why you react this way. So I think that's a big portion of being a functioning member of the universe, is knowing yourself really well, knowing your head, knowing your mind, knowing how you function, and knowing what the results of that are. So that's about all I got for today. I made this video way longer than I wanted to, but I had 2 points that I wanted to get out. Didn't want to split it up to 2 videos, so that's kind of where we're at. But I hope you guys all enjoyed. This is going to be a new section of the channel. Like I said, the debate, the creative thinking portion. So, you know, for this portion, I definitely would love to see some comments, some feedback. Shoot me a message on Twitter. @mychange is here. Find me on Facebook. You can shoot me a message. You know, love to hear where your guys' beliefs or your theories on the universe, or, you know, on the Bruce Jenner thing, where you stand on people and their decisions, and, you know, if maybe it's something that you don't believe is correct. If that's the case, you know, that's fine. Like I said in the beginning, everybody's entitled to their beliefs and their opinions. Project them. Let me hear you. You know, reach out, and we'll keep the conversation flowing. So yeah, that's all I got for you. Like I said, follow me on Twitter. Find me on Facebook. Give the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Throw in some comments, and yeah. So be hitting you guys with a video most likely tomorrow or the next day, so please stay tuned. And as usual, Craig and everybody, make tomorrow a good day. Make that extra effort to make tomorrow special. Make it important. Go out and make new mistakes, not the same mistakes you made the past 2 weeks. Go make a new mistake tomorrow and learn from it. Okay. Alrighty, folks. Everybody have a good night.